Greetings. Live, laugh, love, lion. My name is Late Nocturne. Greetings, mortals. Greetings, mortals. Welcome to my fucked up world of creepy story. Ah, my god, this is so stupid. Welcome to my twisted mind. Welcome to my fucked up world. I am here to give you a glimpse into my my twisted fucked up dark mind today, because today we we are reading the most dastardly, scary, horrifying, terrifying thing in all the world. Old Pokemon creepypastas. I hope. Wait, what is what is it? Oh my god. Sorry. I'm having a bit of fun. I'm having a little bit of fun. Sorry, I'm late to stream, but I last minute was playing around with filters with color correction stuff so that I could make it look darker and creepier. Because I was oh, it might add to it. anyways, welcome to stream. Welcome to stream. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to be reading Pokemon creepypastas. This is sort of an experiment for me. I think I've done this kind of thing before where I've read stuff on stream, but I thought it would be really fun to try reading scary stories or creepypastas on stream. So this is more of a test stream, but I really wanted to try this out. So this is I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have fun today. So this is going to be more of a fun stream. But yeah, we're reading Pokemon creepypastas today. So let's let's just have fun with it. Anyways, I wonder if hold on. I'm gonna try to apply the same color correction that I have on here. Never mind. Okay, we're just gonna switch. We're just gonna transition to the actual creepypasta. So I've just today all I've done is I've brought up this wiki article for a couple of Pokemon creepypastas. I picked out for today. I picked out Pokemon Lost Silver, and I've also picked out Easter Egg Snow on Mount Silver. And these two are considered pretty classic Pokemon creepypastas. So I wanted to pick these ones out just because when I was younger, I was really into listening to Pokemon creepypasta story times on YouTube. So I thought it would be fun if I could do the same thing. It's been a very long time since I've actually read any of these or listened to them actually, because listening to them is a more accurate way of saying this. Because I mean that's what I would do. I would just basically listen to them and listen to the story from the creepypasta narrator, just to have fun with it. So anyway, I'm gonna hue shift myself on here as well, just to oh, I'm so creepy, I'm so scary. Look at me. Oh, this is so fun. I love filters. Hold on, contrast. Yes. Okay, we're gonna go with this for now. and this is gonna be my scary fucked up stream. Anyways, I should get into it. I should get right into it. Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Anyways. Okay, so we're gonna start with Pokemon Lost Silver. This is one that I think I remember pretty well, but I might need a bit of a refresher. So, um, I'm just gonna go right into it because honestly, I don't remember much of this, which is why I picked it out. But if we end up going for longer than I expect, then I might pick out some extra creepypastas that I maybe haven't read before. So it's been a long time since I've seen this, so I'm basically rediscovering this with you guys. So anyways, you see, I am a simple college student, living alone in an apartment. I was very enthusiastic about the release of Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, here in the States. I've purposely locked myself out of all media and the internet aside for school purposes. That means no 4chan, no /v, no Bulbapedia, etc. Man, I am... This is like old internet. I wouldn't... I mean, I know Bulbapedia, but I mean, I wouldn't use that for like forum usages. I would use that for like looking up like, oh, what moves can my Bulbasaur learn early on. But anyways, I haven't used 4chan at all. I think that site will give me diseases if I look at it. But Bulbapedia, I guess it would be a forum. I've never used it as a forum, but that, I don't know, that just surprised me. I don't know why. Of course it's a forum, but like, whatever. I was busy with the school year, and being poor at the time, I wasn't able to buy Soul Silver on its launch date. After my school year ended, I ordered Soul Silver on Amazon. However, it would take a week for it to arrive. I decided that during that time, I would replay my Crystal version on my Game Boy Color. However, I realized that long ago, my mom threw it away because I told her the save went dead, and I was very upset about it then. She also threw away my Silver version, no! And so all I have is my Game Boy Color. As such, I set out to GameStop and bought a used Silver version, as it's the only Pokemon game left that they have for the GBC. $10, fairly cheap. Oh my god. Yeah, oh my god, this is old internet. Not only can you get Game Boy cartridges at GameStop, but $10? Jesus! That's how you know that this is like, this is how you know this is a fictional story. $10 for a Game Boy game? Specifically a Pokemon Game Boy game? Jesus! I went home and I started it up for a nostalgia trip. However, that's when things started getting bizarre, and most likely the reason why you read this. The Game Freak logo started up as normal, but it just froze there. I thought the cart was just errored or something, so I turned it off and on. The same thing happened. I tried pressing A and start over and over, and all of the buttons. Eventually, the logo vanished and there was a black screen for about 5 seconds. Suddenly, rather than going to the usual menu screen, I was already in the game in a previous saved file, which was odd as I was expecting all of these carts to have been wiped by the poor battery. Oh yeah, I remember this. There's something about the battery cartridges on Pokemon Gold and Silver that causes the saves to be lost or something. Anyways. Anyway, either way, I wasn't complaining, as I would have chosen the continue option to see what the previous guy did anyways. I've never done this where I like buy a used game and just select continue. So it's always really interesting to me whenever you like look at one of these creepypastas and someone's like, oh, I wonder what the last person did. I want to press continue, because I would never do that. It makes me want to do that so that like I've like considered it, like the next time I like buy a used game or like I use someone's like used game, I kind of want to just press continue just to like see where they are, because like when I have like used games, like I never really do that. It just doesn't occur to me. Like I want to start my own game. But now that I see this all the time in creepypastas, so I'm like, maybe I should. But maybe I should do that because it just seems interesting. But like on second thought, if it like opens a portal to hell under my ass, maybe not. First off, I checked his trainer information. His name was just ... He didn't have much originality. um, I checked his profile, and apparently he had 999 uh, hours and 99 minutes put into the game, with all 16 badges, 9999.9 Pokédollars, and all 251 Pokemon in Pokedex. Seeing as he apparently had Mew and Celebi logged also, I'm guessing he either used a Game Genie or was a really hardcore Pokemon player back then. I checked his Pokemon to see what I checked his Pokemon to see what a badass team he has. To my surprise, I saw 5 unknowns and a 6th Pokemon named Hurry. Oh, I'm starting to remember now. I remember this the last time I like interacted with listening to this creepypasta on creepypasta readings. I'm thinking that this must be some kind of cruel joke by the person who last played this game, but I decided to check the profiles of those Pokemon anyway. As expected, there were different letters of unknown, all level 5. I was a bit shaky with my unknown alphabet at the time, but I identified the word spelled out leave. Hurry, leave. Whenever I was like a kid and like listening to this, I never like put that together that the nickname Hurry was supposed to be put together with the unknown leave, so it spelled out like hurry, leave, but that just makes sense. I don't know, maybe I was just like a dumb kid. As for the 6th Pokemon, it turned out to be Cyndaquil. 6 Pokemon named Hurry. Okay. As for the 6th Pokemon, it turned out to be a Cyndaquil. Mind you, this was before there were individualized Pokemon icons. I forgot that for a second. I was about to say, like, oh, I forgot that in earlier Pokemon games they didn't have like individualized icons, so you had to like just look at you basically just had to guess, because they would have like a icon on it to like kind of hint you at what it was, but like they wouldn't really show you which Pokemon it was. So if it had a nickname, then you wouldn't be able to tell like right off the bat. The Cyndaquil looked normal, but it was level 5 with only 1 HP left, with only 2 attacks, Leer and Flash. I don't know why they named him Hurry, but at the time I just disregarded it. The most eerie thing was that, despite my volume being at max, none of the Pokemon had their usual cries, just pure silence. Having enough of the team, I closed it. I was parked at what appears to be a room inside of Bellsprout Tower. I remember playing Bellsprout Tower as a kid. I had my older brother's copy of Soul Silver, and what I would do was basically I would start a new game, but I didn't know how to delete a save file, so I would basically just be going on that new game file for as long as I possibly could without being able to save it. And what would happen was eventually my not Game Boy, my DS would like run out of battery, and I wouldn't be able to like play as on that save file. So most of my time playing Soul Silver, like throughout my life, because I just played it so much as a kid, was me replaying up to the 3rd gym, sometimes up to the 4th gym actually, where I would just like play up to a point where eventually my DS battery would just give out, and I wouldn't be able to play anymore, just because I couldn't figure out how to like rewrite the save or like delete my older brother's save and like make my own save file. So a lot of the time that I spent with that game was doing that, but now eventually I did learn how to do that, and now I have my own save file. But anyways, that reminded me of that. Just the Bellsprout Tower, because I've been in Bellsprout Tower so many times, and I remember as a kid thinking it was like pretty eerie, especially with the ghastly hanging around. However, for some reason there were no NPCs around. Even more eerie was that the pillar in the middle didn't move at all, as if it was just leaning on its side. There was no music at all, and there was no exit or ladder. At least I thought there wasn't. I walked around for a few minutes but couldn't find a way out. This was certainly not a room I've seen in the Bellsprout Tower before. I tried checking my items for an escape rope, but the bag was completely empty. There wasn't any wild Pokemon either. Finally, I managed to find a ladder, which turned out to be behind the pillar. The screen turned black and the music finally started playing. I had a sudden chill, as I recognized that melody I heard to be the theme you hear when you listen to the radio at Alph Ruins, where the Unknown are at. I haven't done that actually. I need to like do that in the game. I don't think I've like yeah, because I never put those dots together. So maybe next time I play this game, I should listen to the radio at Alpha Ruins because I don't think I did that before. I immediately realized that it wasn't a loading transition, but rather I was in a dark room and would need flash. Before I took care of that though, I immediately checked my Pokegear to change the radio to something more pleasant, but it turns out that there was no radio card or even a phone nor time cards. There was only a map card in which Gold dot 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 from earlier, and I will call him Gold from now on, was just walking in a midst of black. I recall that the Cyndaquil had flash, so I turned off my Pokegear and made Cyndaquil use flash. I didn't see any message saying Hurry has used flash or anything like that. The room just became lit, just like that, and I soon regretted it. The room was a chilling blood red with a linear gray path heading south. The ladder I used to go up and down was not there at all. Ooh, scary, scary, scary. um, I had no choice but to head south. The screen got darker every 20 steps I made, until finally I made it to the end, which appears to be a sign. I read the sign which said, "Turn back now." So, just like Hurry Leave. Suddenly, I was asked to answer yes or no, but there was no question I asked. I chose yes, as I do not know what it was asking, and the screen went black again, making a ladder climb sound. The unknown radio music stopped, and for a few seconds was repeated with the not as creepy Pokeflute radio music. I was in another dark room, but I held my breath and used flash again. Suddenly, it said that Hurry has fainted, which was odd since I recall that there was no status conditions like poison on him, and I clearly wasn't in a battle. So I checked my Pokemon quickly, and suddenly he's no longer in my party. In fact, after a bit of investigating, none of my Pokemon are there, but instead all replaced with level 10 Unknown. I did the same thing as before and spelled out the Unknown. My then team of Unknown spelled, "He died." I mean, I know it's supposed to be creepy, but like the very suddenness of, oh no, Hurry fainted and he just disappears, he's just gone, and then you spell out "he died" is kind of whiplash. Not gonna lie. It's kind of funny. Um, Either way, after that creepy change, the room was lit to reveal myself in a very small room that appears to be only 4 squares big. The walls of that room were gray bricks, as if I was inside something that was hollowed out. Outside that room appears to be a bunch of graves similar to the ones in Pokemon Red and Blue. I've walked around that small room and pressed A, but nothing happened. I've already concluded that this was clearly a hacked game, and some sadistic fuck sold it to GameStop. I love reading. I love how in creepypastas they always like talk like this. They call someone like a sadistic fuck. Like no one says that in real life, or even like on the internet. Maybe they did say that on the internet, like way back when. But like nobody does this anymore, and it's just really funny going back into these creepypastas and reading lines like, "I've already concluded that this was clearly a hacked game, and some sadistic fuck sold it to GameStop." Um, so it's definitely very much a time capsule. It's very fun to go back and like look at these kinds of things. Some sadistic fuck sold it to GameStop. This is such an old piece of literature, let's call it. However, my curiosity kept me going. I checked the trainer profile of dot 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 again, only to find out that the sprite of Gold was missing his arms. He also seemed to appear less smug, but rather seems more sad and empty in a way that I do not know how to describe. For some reason, it also now said that he has 24 badges, which was clearly impossible. Interesting. I remember when I originally listened to this creepypasta, and like I listened to it like a few more times. I was never really able to understand quite what was happening in it. Like it never really made sense. I was kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a dumb kid, and you know, you could even say I'm kind of a dumb adult now. But it just it never clicked in my head. Whenever I was listening to this, I like never really understood what was going on. Um, Maybe that was just like early signs of ADHD, where I was like, oh, I don't really understand what's going on because I can't really remember what's going on, but I can hear these keywords where Cyndaquil is named Hurry. He has Unknown. I don't remember what the Unknown spell out. Oh my god, only he's lost his arms? Oh man, that's creepy. But like listening to these stories at like a young age and you're like, oh my god, there's something scary happening. There's something so creepy happening. It feels really cool. Like you feel like a cool kid because you're like, oh, I'm so cool and grown up, being able to like read all of this stuff on my own. So it's always fun, but like it's definitely like it's cool like being able to like look back on this as an adult and actually understand what's going on and like actually absorb the information instead of being like, oh, well now his arms are gone, because that's exactly what it was like when I was a kid. Um, Here, let me take a quick drink of water. Do 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 do. Okay, I completely forgot to turn my humidifier on, so for the sake of like not having like a worn out like dry throat. So I like really quickly I turned that back on. Because I turned it off a little while before just because I was like opening up my windows, but now I turned it back on. So my throat should be less dry now. Hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's keep going. Um, After a few minutes of aimless wandering, Um, I wonder if he means wandering and he just spelled it wrong, or if he actually does mean like wondering. Like he's like thinking about it. But he might also just be like exploring the map. But I'll just say wondering for now. Um, After a few minutes of aimless wandering, my character suddenly spun around into the escape rope spinning animation instead of flying up through. Oh, instead of flying up through, my character spun downwards slowly as if sinking. Oh my god, it's like quicksand. Do you guys remember like when you're kids and all of these cartoons are like putting in, for whatever reason, they're all putting in like quicksand. And like you're as a kid you're like, I need to be prepared for when I eventually come across quicksand and I need to know what to do. So that this reminds me of that. He's oh my god, he's sinking in quicksand. That kind of thing. No, Gold, you need to Gold, no. Uh, After that screen, the music stopped. After finally landing, the overworld sprite of Gold is colored differently now. Instead of the usual red color he dons, he appears completely white now, including his skin. It's as if he came straight from the colorless Game Boy games and placed into a colored background of the Game Boy Color. That's actually a really cool visual, I think. As much as I like kind of poke fun at this, I do respect it. Because it really is just like some kid on the internet like writing all of this out, and like being creative. And there are some like this seems like a very cool visual. Like there's a reason why this resonated with so many people and became so like popular. And it's not just like, oh, this thing from my childhood is like scary now. It's because like somebody like definitely had the passion to be like, I want to write something about my favorite games, and I want to like put a little spin on them. So as much as like I like poke fun at it, I definitely do like very much respect it. Um, I don't want to seem like I'm just like, oh, look at this stupid like, oh, creepypasta, like, oh, some dumb kid did this. No, I definitely respect it. So I want to make sure that I like point out things that I do think are like cool in it. Um, let's see, where am I? I checked his profile, and now I checked his profile, and now while now. Okay, that was a bit confusing. I'm already like kind of bad at reading things out loud for this because of like ADHD, dyslexia kind of stuff. But this was just very confusing for me to read on its own. Um, I checked his profile, and now is a white uh, is as white as his overworld sprite. He lost his legs and has what appears to be bloody tears from his eyes. It also says he now has 32 badges, which now starts to disturb me, as this change of numbers seems to represent something important. I also checked my Pokemon. Hold on, I'm like doing the math. That's another 8 That's another 8 badges. I'm also not good at math, if you couldn't tell. That's another 8 badges. Okay. Is it supposed to say, like, he's, like, is this screen, like, fading to black, like, representing, like, a time skip, and he's, like, going through gym badges and, like, collecting new badges? Like, he's like, going and being violent? Is that what this is trying to represent? Because I don't remember if it ever says, like, explicitly what the badges are supposed to be in this creepypasta. I also checked my Pokemon, which this time contains 5 unknowns and a level 100 Celebi, without a nickname. The unknown are this time leveled 15 and spelt out dying. I checked the Celebi's profile. It was a shiny Celebi. Oh, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon reference? Except there's only half of the sprite, 1 leg, 1 arm, and 1 eye. It only had 1 attack, Perish Song. Scary. The area I was in itself was the Sprout Tower, with the immobile pillar as before, except everything is apparently red now. So, is it the blood of the, is it the blood of the ones I killed, or is it my own? The area I was in itself was the Sprout Tower with the immobile pillar as before, except everything is apparently red now. I walked north for what felt like forever. Eventually, I finally encountered some generic men and women NPC. They were all lined up to the side, just facing the long, slantish pillar in the middle. They were also white, and nothing happens when I try to speak to them. I kept going north until eventually the pillar finally appears chopped off, with a transparent red in that spot. Oh, transparent red. Red the character. I thought it meant, like, red, like, everything is red now. Oh my god, imagine... I'm imagining, like, the visual of, like, apparently everything's red now. Apparently everything's red now. And it isn't, like, the color red, but every single, like, tile on the background is just red sprite instead of like an actual tile. Like, that's a very funny visual to me. Until eventually the pillar finally appears chopped off with the transparent red in that spot. I went up to red, and without even pressing A, I was suddenly engaged finally in a battle. The music starts again, which it sounds like the unknown radio music again, but played backwards. How would you know if it was the unknown music but played backwards? Because I feel like, at least for me, when somebody plays a music track backwards, it's very, very difficult for me to, like, understand which song it was supposed to be. Gold's battle back sprite matches his front one with the bloody eyes, white skin, and lack of arms, while Red's sprite was the same as before in Gold Silver Crystal, except transparent. The text simply said, "Wants to battle," as if he has no name, and both of us only have 1 Pokemon each, which is weird, as I swore I had 6 Pokemon with the unknowns. My shiny Celebi came out, and conveniently with half a sprite for the back sprite also. The shiny noise and animation was different, as the sounds it made sound like multiple screech attacks used consecutively. Red sent out a seemingly normal male Pikachu, except he is level 255. Man, missing no glitch here. And his sprite seems sad and has tears in his eyes. Rather than the usual fight item Pokemon run menu, I was only given the option to use the attacks. Since Celebi only has ones, I chose it. Naturally, since Pikachu is level 255, he went first. Pikachu used Curse, lowering his speed and increasing his other stats. I'm not even sure if Pikachu could use Curse. And that's interesting. That's specifically, this is cool. This is cool that it uses Curse, and it lowers his speed and increases his other attacks, because I think that's only something. Well, I wonder hold on, I need to look something up. I need to look something up because I'm trying to remember, because I know Curse, if it's a ghost type, it does something different than if it's a different type. Like if a different type of Pokemon uses Curse, um, it does something different than with ghost types. So I need to like look that up because to me, I was like, I think if a ghost type uses Curse, it lowers its speed and increases its other attacks. Um, and then with another type of Pokemon, um, it like lowers your HP and inflicts a curse on the other Pokemon, but it's probably the other way around. And I was about to be like, oh, that's such a cool use of like Pokemon lore and like show don't tell, because that shows that this Pikachu is actually a ghost type. But that might not actually be the case. Ghost Pokemon move. I'm looking that up. For non-ghost Pokemon, Curse lowers the user's speed and raises their attack and defense, all by 1 stage each. Okay, so never mind. I was about to be like, oh, that's so cool that it's hinting that the Pikachu is actually a ghost type, but that is not the case here. That is definitely not the case. It would have been cool if it did that, but I guess not. I guess not. Never mind. I'm not sure if Pikachu could use Curse. Celebi used Perish Song. In 3 turns, both Pokemon get KO'd. Not like I have a choice. At this point, I didn't even go back to the fight menu, as the battle just continued without me. Also, note that there were no animations at all for some reason. Pikachu used Flail, which didn't do much damage despite his level and boost, as his health was maxed. Celebi used Perish Song. Nothing happened, as it already was used. Pikachu used Frustration, which did a shit ton of damage, knocking Celebi out to less than 10 HP. Damn. That's... okay, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was expecting with Curse earlier, where it uses the Pokemon's move as a storytelling method. So like, if you are a Pokemon fan and like you know what all these moves are doing, it tells you a lot about what's happening in the story, which is a really, really cool storytelling device. And people talk about this all the time with the Geetus fight in Pokemon Black and White, or it might be Black and White too, where Geetus has, or Getsus, his name is Getsus. I always read his name as Geetus for some reason. His name is Getsus. He has a Hydreigon, and one of its most powerful attacks is Frustration. And Frustration as a move is really interesting because Frustration is a move where the more that the Pokemon hates their trainer, the more damage the move will do. So it's very, very important that this is like being shown here, because this is a very, very good example of show don't tell, which you know, people often criticize creepypasta for like not having that, and like yeah, they often do not have that, but specifically with like this kind of thing, it's really cool that he like included Frustration, because that really tells us a lot about how this Pikachu feels, not only in this like story and like this world that it's living in, but like about its trainer, about this this Red NPC. So this Pikachu fucking hates Red. This is not good, because you know, Pikachu is supposed to really like Red, but anyways, I'm saying too much. I just thought that this was really cool. I thought that this was what they were doing with Curse earlier, but this is very cool. Pikachu used Frustration, which did a shit ton of damage, knocking Celebi down to less than 10 HP. Celebi used Pain Split, which surprised me, as Celebi didn't even have that attack in the first place. Now Celebi and Pikachu both have about 150 HP. Pikachu used Mean Look. Not like that did anything. As expected, due to the effects of Perish Song, my Celebi fainted. Except in the text it said Celebi has died, and instead of the ordinary drop off the screen animation, the Celebi back spray just vanished. For some reason, the Pikachu was still up, even with the Perish Song, and it didn't count as my loss. Pikachu used one more different attack beyond the 5 attack limit. Pikachu used Destiny Bond. Afterward, it said, Pikachu has died, with a slow fade-out animation. Apparently, I was the winner, as the transparent red sprite showed up and said ... Which, you know, that isn't abnormal for red, but it's supposed to be scary here. At that point, I just freaked out as that transparent red sprite was suddenly beheaded, leaving nothing but his transparent body. Oh, so Pikachu was like, oh, I want to take you down with me because I don't like you. That is such cool storytelling. I never noticed that as a kid because like I didn't know as much about Pokemon, and I keep saying this, I was kind of stupid when I was listening to this at first when I was a kid, so I never, I just thought that was like a creepy thing that happened. But no, that is explicitly saying like, this Pikachu hates this red, and it uses Destiny Bond in order to like take red down with it. So that's really cool as like a thing. Like obviously, you know, creepypastas, Pokemon creepypastas are not like the best horror in the world. But like, I don't want to just be like poking fun at this because this is just something that some kid wrote because they love Pokemon, and I want to like pay respect to that. I don't want to just be like making fun of some like kids, some kids like work that they put in. Like that's very mean. I just wanted to like point out things that I think are cool because someone put a lot of work in this. Because you know they really like the source material, so I gotta show when I do actually think something is cool and like give them credit for that. At that point, I just freaked out as that transparent red sprite was suddenly beheaded, leaving nothing but its transparent body. The battle then ended at that point and faded out along with the music. I'm back in the overworld, along with another change to the gold sprite. He's now as transparent as Red's overworld sprite, which implies that this red also went through like a similar thing, I think, because now the gold is like that red. Interesting. I quickly checked Gold's profile, where this time the only thing that remains of him is his head with a transparent skin. The head was zoomed in a bit, showing a black void in his eyes. It now stated that he now has 40 badges. 40 badges. I then backed out and checked my Pokemon. They were all level 20 Shiny Unknown, which spelled out no more. As I was at what I now know is next to the end. There was apparently no music playing, but for some reason I still felt like something was there but could be heard. I was back in my room in New Barktown. Maybe finally I get to play this game properly, but who am I kidding? I knew that sadistic fuck must have done something. I walked around my room to interact with things, walk in quotations, as I'm a bit afraid to go down the stairs and see what was awaiting down there. Note I said walked, as while the background was moving, Gold was not moving his transparent limbs at all while doing so, just floating like those ghosts you see in Diamond and Pearl. As expected, the radio, computer, and TV did not work, so I had no choice but to go down the stairs. I ended up in the same lower level room of my house. Everything appears normal except Mom isn't home. After failing to interact with anything in this room, I decided to go outside. To my surprise, that door leading outside at the south didn't work, and instead I just walked straight through it to avoid. I continued moving south to see what the fuck was going on. My house vanishes as I head south into the void. It was creepy as when I entered the void, the outline of Gold's transparent sprite turned white to contrast with the pitch black. Eventually, I reached the white area and Gold sprite turned black and transparent again. I continued south, not thinking of stopping at all. After a long trek south, I finally encountered something. It was Gold's regular sprite. I talked to it. He said, "Goodbye. Forever." That's... Goodbye. Forever. Notably with a space in between forever and ... Interesting. Oh! Goodbye forever ... Which is significant. That's significant because this Gold's character name is ... But this is 4 dots. Interesting. And vanished. As that happened, it said ... used nightmare, which at that point, I would not deny that being possible. Gold did another escape rope animation, spinning slowly downwards like before. I'm now back in the small hollowed out room, surrounded by graves earlier. Or at least I say I was back there, as there's no sprite anymore. I tried to walk around, but nothing moved. Not even a wall bumping noise. Um, I checked my trainer profile with absolutely no gold sprite left. It said I have 0 badges, and all the pictures of the Johto gym leaders at the bottom were replaced with skulls, so he was going around, like, killing them, I think. I checked my Pokemon, which were all level 25 unknown. As expected, it spelled out the phrase I dared to read. I'm dead. Okay, this part is very cheesy. As soon as I went back to the overworld, the room I supposedly was in, then covered with the same blocks as the walls, I figured out exactly what that room was when the final text was said, R.I.P. ... That room was a big grave, surrounded by other graves. Gold has already been dead. He died presumably a few years after he defeated Red. He was a young trainer who, despite his efforts in collecting so many badges and attempts at becoming a Pokemon Master, was still unable to avoid the inevitable fate of death, and his efforts were eventually forgotten by the next generation. I was unable to escape that text no matter what I pressed. I tried resetting the game, and the same thing happened, at which I then finally decided to give up on that horrible nightmare. After that experience, I will never look at the gimmick unknown the same way ever again. They say that only the first generation have folk tales and legends, but the second generation have shown me how unpleasant the truth can be. I eventually enjoyed Soul Silver immensely, but I still can't unthink what that rigged game has told me. In early September 2010, a complete working fan game of Lost Silver was made. I think I've seen that before. That's really cool. The game is its own executable rather than a ROM hack, and therefore does not require an emulator nor a Pokemon Silver ROM. Interesting. There has been talk about expanding the story by adding different series of events, if the player chooses no, at the sign that says turn back now. While many people believe that the events choosing no, which is referred to as hidden by fans, is a made-up addition by the fans, it is in fact made up by the original writer in response to the creator of the fan game. Interesting! That's actually really cool, that he, like, made up a whole, like, different part. That's so interesting. The standalone fan game was made using an underlying Pokemon engine created by a game creation program named GameMaker. The source file or the game can be downloaded and edited here. I'm not gonna click that, but it might be cool for, like, a future stream to, like, play, like, fan games like that. No Pikachus? Mega mind me. Can I do the face here? Can I? No Pikachus? No Pikachus? No Pikachus? Hi Haku! Sorry I didn't, like, see your message. Hold on. Let me adjust this so that it's easier for me to see chat while also... I only have one computer monitor, so whenever I have something that, like, takes up the whole screen like this, it's hard for me to read chat. But let me, for a second... Hey Lathe! Hi Haku! It's good to see you! I'm reading Pokemon creepypastas now. Today. Which is why I'm scary. I'm so scary. Welcome to my twisted, fucked up mind. Here, I'm gonna really quickly adjust my screen here, so that it's easier for me to look at the creepypastas and chat at the same time. Here, you can enjoy my color correction, scary Halloween creepypasta edition lathe background here. Here, let me just scroll up so that I can make sure that I have everything in frame. Da da da, ba ba bum, do 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 do. Scary. It's scary today. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is a very fun stream for me. Here, let me just make sure. Okay, we're good. All right, I want to move on to the next story now. We're going to transition scenes. All right, here we are. Here we go. And now we're going to go to the next creepypasta for our stream today. Snow on Mount Silver. So, I don't know if I've ever, like, read Snow on Mount Silver. Here's the image associated with it. I'm, like, bending over to the side so that you can see it better. But I don't think I've read this one. I might have. And I say read with, like, quotations. Because, like, when I was, like, a kid and I was, like, into these kinds of things, I would always, like, listen to it. I would listen to, like, Mr. Creepypasta or whatever, like, read these, and I would be like, oh my god, this is so scary. Oh my god, I never knew Pokemon could be so scary. There's so many secrets. I'm so cool and grown up for being able to, like, stomach all of these and, like, see my favorite Pokemon be all scary and creepy. But creepypasta ASMR when? Perchance, potentially. I mean, maybe I can, like, move my mic closer and start, like, whispering, like, so my brother and I, we kind of grew up on Pokemon. Around here a lot of kids did. It worked out perfectly for us too. I don't I don't know. Did you get anything out of that? Was that good? I don't know very much about ASMR. I don't know very much about ASMR at all. Yeah? It was? Every time a new gen came out, one of us would get one version and one of us would get the other. And since our mom liked to spoil us, we both got the third one. Whoa. It was actually nice? I'll have to, like, listen back on the VOD to, like, see how that is. I've gotten, like, sort of curious about ASMR stuff and, like, doing ASMR stuff, but I've never actually, like, gone through with it. So who knows? But anyways, I don't remember if I actually ever, like, listened to this creepypasta. So I'm very interested to see what happened, but I know that this is another one that's, like, very that got very popular, Snow on Mount Silver, so I'm excited to get into it. Anyways, so my brother and I, we kind of grew up on Pokemon. Around here a lot of kids did. It worked out perfectly for us too. Every time a new gen came out, one of us would get one version, one of us would get the other, and since our mom liked to spoil us, we got the third one. Or we both got the third one, so they each have, like, Crystal, I think. Any water. This is going to sound, at first, like a bittersweet story about two sweet siblings who grew up with a couple of games that eventually take them down two different roads. Well, it's a little more than that. This time I'm gonna, like, try to voice act a little bit more. I don't know. I'll try. The years rolled by, we kept collecting. Game Boys got old, we replaced them, cartridges finally gave out, cartridges finally came out, cartridges finally gave out, we picked up new copies. But we started down two completely different roads before Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald came out. See, around then, my brother got a Game Shark. We had heard all the hacks and cheats you could do with them, even if we were kind of late to the party and they sounded awfully cool. Our first guinea pig cartridge was my brother's old blue version. I was about to say glue. Was my brother's old blue version. We just sticked around with it a little bit. Nothing major. But whatever we did fucked the cartridge up. After just a couple of code entries, it glitched out completely and became unplayable. Naturally, we were upset at first. My brother mourned the loss of his hours of work, and I was sympathetic, and told him, it's okay, we can replace it, I guess. Stupid shark was a waste of money. But here, our paths finally differed. After seeing the mess it had turned blue version into, I had become opposed of Sorry, my I am not very good at reading things out loud. Everything's getting like mixed up and jumbled. How did he summon a demon with a Game Boy? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I just have to keep reading, I guess. I have to like make sure that I just keep going. Dyslexia is real. Yep. I have very mild dyslexia, but like it still fucks me up, specifically when I like read stuff out loud. Like it's not as difficult when I'm like reading just like to myself, but if I try to read out loud to other people, it definitely fucks me up a little bit. So and I was sympathetic. I told him it's okay, we can replace it, I guess. Stupid shark was a waste of money. But here, our paths finally differed. After seeing the mess it had turned Blue version into, I had become opposed to the idea of hacking or cheating any of my games. What can I say? I'm a chick. I feel feelings for the little pixel critters. Uh, I feel feelings for the little pixel critters. Okay. At least with that Game Shark. But my brother had taken his game's destruction as a personal challenge or something. I don't think he ever played a game after that, which wasn't hacked somehow. Yeah, we played a shit ton of Pokemon, man. But for us, there wasn't much else to do. We live, uh, we live way out in the country without many other kids, and the farmers didn't want us on their property, so we played Pokemon out on the lawn, just about all day, every day. It was pretty awesome, to us at least. We lost that Game Shark when our rooms got moved around. A new addition was built onto our house, and it disappeared in the mess of shit that got stuck in the mess of shit that got stuffed into the new closet. Hold on, I'm gonna like turn my humidifier up because my throat is definitely getting very dry right now. Hold on. Please, please work a little bit faster for me, please. Pretty please. All right, let's hope that helps me out a little bit. Oh, you know what's really scary? A dry throat. A dry throat when you're trying to stream. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Anyways, the other day I unintentionally changed the D and G and how's your day going? I have candy all day, every day. Candy, candy, candy. Yeah. Maybe I should get like a cough drop. I have them in the other room, but I normally do it like after I stream. Yeah, I'll do it after I stream, just because fucking what's it called? It's hard for me to like speak on stream while I have something in my mouth, like a cough drop. So, anyways, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald arrived, and after playing through them once, we were both in agreement that they were definitely lacking in comparison to the last gen. I get it. It's hard to beat Silver and Gold. They were stacked games. Those games are so good. They were both lacking in comparison to the last gen. We both tried another honest playthrough, and though we managed to finish, it left us both yearning for some good old-fashioned nostalgia. Where were our gold, silver, and crystal cartridges, though? It took us probably a month to dig through the boxes we'd been too lazy to open up before, but we finally found one full of a shitload. Of all our old electronics. My old purple Game Boy Color still worked, and his red one could no longer hold batteries in place. Both of our GPAs were fine though, along with our snake lights and link cables. That one with the nifty little connector in the middle that I had always wrapped up oh so carefully to avoid fraying the wires and condemning them to the trash like our last cable. We both grabbed up everything we could, and it was so nice to have yellow, which had been my first and most cherished game of any series, not just Pokemon, and red and gold back. Something that I want to note about this creepypasta compared to the last one is that there is definitely a big difference in the quality of writing here. This definitely feels like way better writing. Like, not just like with like the amount of like prose and like setup and like build up and like establishment of like characters, setting, context surrounding everything, but like grammar as well. Like, it's definitely a lot better. Like, this seems like someone who like is definitely an English kid. Like, they love their English class. They also seem like older too. Like the last one establishes that they're a college student, but like obviously I don't buy that. That was definitely written by a kid. This one also is probably written by a kid, but it's definitely like an older kid and a kid who is like very into writing. Grammar, 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 grammar fucks with me too. Grammar is not fun, but you know. Maybe a kid who's reading a lot. Yeah, a kid who's really into books and writing. That's what it definitely seems like, because the writing quality in this is much better than the last one. It was so nice to have Yellow, which had been my first and most cherished game of any series, not just Pokemon, and Red and Gold back. We went through the motions of checking our old files, taking in all the old memories, and eventually we figured the Gen 1 stuff was just too nostalgic to get rid of. I restarted Gold, and he restarted Silver. Immediately, he snatched up the Game Shark out of the box and slipped it into the back of his GBA. I just shook my head at him. I remember what I said to him. That thing will kill your game, you know. Emotes when? I'm working on them. I actually finished one, but I need to resize it for Twitch. What I might do is I might actually commission them, because it's been taking me a little while to like get them done, but like I might commission someone to like do them for me. But I might also do them myself, just because like I don't know, my job allows me to like have a lot of downtime, so I might be able to like just get them done while at work. Twitch will do it. You don't need to resize it. Twitch will do it automatically unless it's an animated emote. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think the quality looks that nice. But I can try. You know what? I'll see. Hold on. I think I actually, do I have the file on my computer? If not, I can just like download it here. Hold on. Do 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 do. Okay, Twitch, let's see. We're going to go to viewer rewards, we're going to go to emotes, we're going to standard emotes, we're going to upload lathe l .png. It will auto resize. I don't know how the quality looks, but we're gonna see how it works. Enter emote name. We're just gonna call it L, and we're gonna upload it. And that's gonna be the first free emote. Alright, we're gonna see how that works. I don't know if you can like do it like right now. I think Twitch has to like approve of it first. But when it does go through, we'll see how it looks like in chat. Oh, you got it! Nice! Unless it's show me your juicy computer files. No, never. Small Leon. Yeah, it's the, hold on, I can look it up. Here, let me, Dr. Phil L. Images. It's this. This is what it's referencing. It's the Dr. Phil L. Hold on, let me. Oh yeah, it's Dr. Phil L. So that's what you can spam when I do something stupid or if I'm late. I will make like an actual like late nocturne emote, but LOL. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, we'll see. But that's the one that you can use right now. So I think that's free to like all followers, so everyone can use that. But anyways, let's get back to let's get back to this. It's good to know that it works automatically. I thought that Twitch we had to like wait a little moment, um, it, to like actually approve of it, but it seems like it just automatically went through, so that's nice. Late Nocturne be like empty emote because you're late. Oh my god. Yeah, let's get back to the reading. Yeah. Uh, Hold on, let me drink some water. Okay. Um, he had never liked me preaching to him about abusing pixels. I shut my mouth after that, but it put him off from playing with me. I guess it was just one time too many or something. I ought to know to keep my thoughts to myself, really. It was a couple days later that it happened. I was out on the porch, Game Boy in hand, and just about to go into the Elite Four when I realized that I needed a little help. My team was ill-balanced thanks to me playing through for leisure, and at the time I was no great trainer that could pull off gimmick runs. I knew that my brother had 2 badges ahead of me when we last checked with one another, so I was hoping maybe he'd let me borrow a Pokemon or 2 just for this run-through. Now, the thing is that I'd spent the last 24 hours at a friend's place. I had literally come home, dumped my bag in my room, and crept out into the sun with my GBA to play. I had no idea what he'd been up to. Um, for all I knew, he was done with the game and onto a new one, which I figured was all the better for me since he wouldn't need those Pokemon and I'd stand a better chance of nicking a few. So I got up and went into the house, and when I was crossing into the living room, I noticed all of his Pokemon games lying on the floor. The writing quality in this is definitely much better than the last one, I will say. Like I said this before, but like the Snow on Mount Silver is like this is like an actual story. This is like something that went through like a first draft and maybe a final draft, maybe even a second draft. Well, who knows? But this is like something someone wrote in their creative writing class, their creative writing high school elective or something. Okay, so some of the cartridges had been mangled, like they'd been hacked with something sharp. Even his old blue version, long ago dead and too sentimental to throw away, was lying with the plastic cut ragged and split almost halfway up one side, completely unusable anymore, even if it would have worked. I was a little scared. This had to have happened this morning, otherwise our mom would have seen and they wouldn't be lying on the carpet. Tucking my GBA into my pocket, I crept over to his room and found the door unlocked. Somehow, that was even more concerning. Modern Martin Eden. I walked in and found my brother sitting on the edge of his bed. His GBA was in pieces on the floor at his feet. Smashed to bits. Oh no! Smashed to bits. Next to him on the bed were a hammer and one of our mother's gardening scissors. His face was paler than I'd ever seen it, even whiter than the time we'd gone corning, and the old guy up the street, legally blind and a raving nutcase, had come and chased us into the trees with a shotgun. It was now I also noticed the Game Shark on the ground and a silver cartridge corner poking from under his bed. Somehow, they had been spared the wrath of the hammer. "Are you okay?" I asked. I remember the chills that ran through me. He was my little brother. Seeing him like this was horrifying. He was awful, I remember him rasping, and the way his voice rattled made my knees weak. Oh god, white everywhere, and then black. And then, okay, I'm trying to like peek at my OBS to like make sure that I'm not covering where I'm reading, so just like scrolling up a little bit. Okay, I remember running over and hugging him, and I remember his limp arm fell and brushed the Game Boy in my pocket, and his sudden scream right in my ear, making me jump and bite my tongue by accident. He ripped the handheld from my pocket and hurled it at the far wall. I cried out at the dent in the plastic system made there, running over to collect it. The screen had gone dark, and and though I feared the worst, When I flicked the switch, it powered up normally. I waited there in the corner, trying to pretend the GBA mattered enough not to go and run from our mom. I waited there in the corner, trying to pretend the GBA mattered enough not to go and run for our mom. Sorry, the dyslexia is definitely kicking in. I'm trying to like do more of like a voiceover narrator type voice, but it always like this always happens. So I'm just gonna I have to, I guess, pace myself a little bit. The volume was on. The Pokemon theme started up, and he screamed again, picking up the hammer. This time I screamed too, and ran from the room with my GBA clutched to my chest like a shield. He ended up in the psych ward. Oh my god. He ended up in the psych ward of the hospital for 2 days. When we went to visit him, I left my GBA at home. No one could figure out what had set up this strange manic behavior. There was some talk that I didn't understand at the time about some kind of disorder he may or may not have had, but even though my mom and I had collected and brought in all the cut-up cartridges to be looked at, mom's idea, not mine, no one had even thought to tie it back to the game. Maybe that was my fault. I hadn't said a word about what happened when he accidentally touched my Game Boy, or the blind, white terror he had been thrown into when the music had started. On my last visit to the hospital before school on the second day, I was left alone in the room with him, while Mom had some private talk with the doctor about precautions to take should this happen again. I sat in a chair next to the bed, where he was staring at the ceiling, but then suddenly he sat up, making me flinch. "Hey," he told me, "Angie, go in my room when you get home." I didn't understand what he meant, and then I remembered the things we hadn't packed up and brought in, this game and the hacking tool under his bed. Get rid of them. I don't ever want to play with them ever again. His voice was so weary and desperate. He sounded like an old man on his deathbed. My poor, damaged little brother. How could I refuse? Promise you'll get rid of them. Okay, I promise. I was carted off to school late, and through the whole day, I only had my promise with him in my head. I didn't know it at the time, but this would be the last time I could ever play the big sister role and help him out. I just had to get home and get rid of that game. But as the day went on, a sick curiosity started to go through my own head. What could possibly have happened to that game that scared him so badly? I was scared myself, but I just had to know. I had to. Late? Late? Like Nocturne? Like my streamer? Late Nocturne? Oh my god. God, my contacts are bothering my eyes right now. For whatever reason, when I put them in today, they were more blurry than usual. I might have to, like, use a different pair of contacts, because I don't know if driving with these on is very good, so I might, after the stream, quickly change my contacts before I go to work. They shouldn't be this blurry, but, like, for whatever reason, they're not working the way they're supposed to, so... You are wearing contacts right now? Yep. Yep. They're just not... They just don't want to work for me right now. But anyways. I'll have to, like, see if I need to change them before work, because even though they should be fine, they're just not working for me right now. And I don't want to drive with contacts that aren't working for me, so I will probably be changing these after stream before I have to go to work. Okay, I got home and went right into his room. I bent over, oh my god. I went home and went right to his room, bent on uncovering, sorry, dyslexia is going crazy right now. Whatever horror was waiting for me. Mom had since vacuumed the room, and the cartridge and Game Shark were no longer visible. I got down and crawled half under the bed, feeling timid, but holding onto the promise I had made as my badge of courage. Under the bed, there was enough dust to make me cough. Enough old Legos and various other toys that I didn't set my elbow down without landing on something. But I finally saw both objects. They'd been shoved into the corner on top of the notebook that looked too new to have been down here long. Unthinking, I grabbed the corner of the paper and dragged everything out with me, still wheezing from the dust, allergies and all. They looked so innocent, simple toys and simple spiral bound bunch of papers. When I set Silver version and the Game Shark on the floor, I took a closer look at the notebook. On it were scrawled at least 20 different cheat codes, but one had been scratched out with Sharpie over where it had initially been drawn with pen. This was confusing. He had really tried to erase it out. The marker had been pressed up to the paper so hard that the ink soaked through most of the pages behind it, almost 2/3 of the way to the card stock backed cover. But the pen has a way of sticking around. I picked up the notebook and tilted it backward in the light, and the reflective surface of the Sharpie revealed the indents that had been left where he'd written. The code was an unintelligible mess of letters and numbers, but the words next to it confused me. Easter egg. Snow on Mount Silver. You better do. Yeah, I'll change them. Yeah, I can like feel them right now. Like my contacts, and they're definitely bothering my eyes. They feel like more itchy than usual. Maybe that's a sign that I should just take them out right now and just use my glasses. It's not like an irritation thing. Well, I mean, it's kind of itchy, but that's how it is with my contacts. Sounds like a good idea? Okay. Let's put up a BRB. Hold on. BRB. I will quickly take these out and just put my glasses on. They're on my desk right here, so I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Let me put on my glasses that I have at the desk here. They're, welcome back. Thank you. BRB. Okay, they're a bit foggy, so I'm just gonna very quickly rub them on my shirt to, like, clear them up a little bit. Yeah, I might wear my glasses for the rest of the day, even though my glasses give me headaches, which is why I wear contacts. I don't know why specifically glasses do this for me, but whatever. There we go. That should be good for now. Oh, I can see. It's so clear now. Does it happen with all glasses? Yeah, it's weird. It's been happening for years now, where if I wear glasses for too long, it gives me, like, a splitting headache. So I've had, like, different lenses, like, multiple different lenses, and different like frames, and it still does the same thing for me. So it's weird. I don't know why it happens. It's really weird. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a thing where like it's the frames that's irritating, because like I've switched out the frames. Um, so like I know for some people like it's the frames hitting on like pressure points that causes the headache. But I've tried different frames and different lenses, so I don't know if it's that. Um, but who knows? Maybe next time I get glasses, I'll have to like tell them like, hey, I get really bad headaches when I wear glasses. I don't know if that's because of the frames. I don't know if there's like a very specific set of frames that I can use that'll like make sure that that stops happening. But I also just don't like wearing glasses in general, and I just prefer contacts. So, real life motion blur, yeah. Gasp. The glasses are so cool. I don't like wearing them. I think it's a pain. It's just a pain to wear. I prefer glasses. Anyways, anyways, creepypasta time. Oh, let me take the BRB after off the street, off the screen. There we go. Um, Easter egg. Snow on Mount Silver. I remember what he had said when I found him, that he had been raving about white, white, and black. Could he mean snow? Even though it was only August and the temperature was still climbing to 90 degrees every day. Oh my god. August and it's 90 degrees? That's heaven. That's heaven. You're living in heaven. Oh my god, I can't imagine a August that has like less than 100-degree weather. But that's just because I was living in the South for so long. Maybe this is like a more like northern rural area that they're in, but I just associate August with like over 100-degree weather. I'm living in an area now where it probably won't get up to like 100 degrees during August, but who knows? It might, maybe, but we'll see. Anyways, where was I? Where was I? 90 degrees every day. A chill ran down my spine. Did I dare? Damn, it's math time. Oh yeah. Um, I picked up everything and brought it to my room, and laid it out on the carpet in front of me, with my own GBA next to it. For a long time, I just stared down at it. The longer I looked, the more maniacal Lugia's face had become with the sticker, like some kind of twisted grin, like it was daring me to find out what happened to my brother. It was a 14-year-old kid. Did I really want to tempt fate and risk ending up like him? I glared down at Lugia for a while longer. I had to see. I slid gold out of my GBA and stuck silver in its place. It took me almost 15 minutes to compose myself and turn it on. It started up normally. I left the song on low, too afraid of what I might hear to keep it up the full way, and too curious to turn it the whole way off. The title screen was normal too. Lugia again, but somehow menacing despite my common sense, telling me it was exactly the same picture as every time I had started up the game. How bad could it be? I asked myself. His note said Easter egg. Didn't that mean the coding was already in the game? The menu came up, still absolutely normal. Um, it's around 90. It's around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Is 25 to 30 degrees Celsius thing, but 100 Fahrenheit must be at 30 to 35. Yeah, damn, that's hot. Yeah, it gets up there. um, yeah, last summer where I was living, it got up to like 100, like around 110 every day, so it was not fun. um, but I also wanted to mention about these creepypastas, like the video game creepypastas. It's interesting. Holy moly, yeah, yeah. It's interesting that like in each of these creepypastas, and in a lot of video game creepypastas, um, it's interesting that the whatever is haunting the game, or like whatever the scary thing in the game is, it's never caused by the player themselves. It's caused by someone else who played the game before them. Like it's like that with the last one we read. It's like that with this one, and I think it's like that with Ben Drowned as well. Um, like I what's it called? I definitely what am I saying here? I've definitely like listened to some more like other video game creepypastas, so I don't know if it's like a recurring theme, but like right now with the ones that I'm familiar with, it does seem like a recurring theme. So that's interesting. Um, did you notice that repeating twice in one sentence? What? Did it really? Uh, 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 developers summoned a demon with Pokemon games. With a Pokemon game, yeah. His character was Blake. Um, his character was Blake with a mostly filled Pokedex, but this time it was odd. 99999. That that was in the other one as well. Pokemon Lost Silver. That was in the other one. That's interesting. Uh, I knew he couldn't have been playing that long. I knew he couldn't have been playing that long. I had barely logged 50 hours on my game, and I was at the Elite Four, and I was playing slowly. Probably the result of his hacking and fucking up his file. I thought, well, whatever then. The game started up, and the first thing I noticed was a prolonged black screen. It took almost a minute for anything to change, and there was no sound at all. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up already, but it was already too late to turn back. Finally, a very dim sort of map came onto the screen, but it looked like static. What was going on? I squinted down and realized with a fearsome pang that it was actually the Mount Silver map. But what I thought was static was heavy falling snow. So this was where he had last saved his game. I checked his party, a very normal team for someone who had been using the Game Shark. Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Meganium, Pidgeot, Tyranitar, Lugia, all level 100 with modded moves. Typical for him. Typical for him. Something about the sprites was strange though. They seemed sullen, in a way. The colors seemed washed out, and their expressions lacked the usual vigor they normally had. I chalked this up to missing pixels or something, as also due to the hacking. 3 times, huh? Yeah. The map had brightened just a smidgen when I closed out of the start menu. Indeed, the snow was somehow falling very heavily. Pixels danced across the screen so fast it was hard to see the little sprite that was my brother's character. Something was off about him too. When I checked the information, it was the same as the Pokemon sprites. The colors were dull. In fact, now that I thought about it, he almost looked frostbitten. My stomach tightened, and I turned and tried to move back down the mountain. As I hit the bottom of the screen, words popped up, and there was finally a sound. My sprite hitting an invisible wall. I can't turn back now. That was unsettling. I went to my Pokemon and tried to use Pidgeot's fly ability. I can't fly in this, obviously referring to the snow. Fuck this, I thought, going into his bag. There was an escape route. I tried using it. I can't go back anymore. What was going on? Once again, I tried to walk down the mountain, and to my horror, the words changed with every attempt. I can't run away. I can't go back down. I can never go back. This one sent a frigid feeling through my heart. There was no way the mountain had to climb. There was no way down the mountain. I had to climb. Turning the little sprite around, I moved him forward. No resistance at all, though my walking speed was oddly slow. What was truly weird was a lack of grass, or of trainers, of anything at all but white snow, which still blew across the screen and made it almost impossible to see. As I moved further up the mountain, his walking speed became slower and slower. The static curtain of pixels grew thicker, so that I could barely make out the features on the map. But it seemed like the only way to move was straight ahead anyway. I reached what looked like a set of stairs at the very top edge of the screen. I didn't remember this being there before. As I tried to move up, the little sprite paused. I'm cold. By now, even I was getting goosebumps. His walking speed had become painfully slow, as if somehow he was being impeded. Up the little staircase. More text on the screen. Meganium has died. What the fuck, I thought. Pokemon don't die in these games. I checked my party and was frightened and confused by what I saw. Meganium's sprite had been replaced by a red X. All of my other Pokemon sported varying degrees of damage, though I hadn't battled once. I went into my bag and found a single revive. I tried to use it. It's too late, it said. What kind of Easter egg was this? There wasn't much else I could do. Trying to turn around yielded the same message as before, so I kept walking. I kept moving. Pidgeot has died. I checked again. Sure enough, there was a little red X. This time, I selected it and looked at the Pokemon itself, trying to figure out what was wrong. I wish I hadn't. The sprite was mangled. Pieces of it were missing. What was left was splotched with a sickish blue-gray color, and its eye was a solid black pit. I flipped down to the Meganium, with the same deal, a leg missing, a chunk of its neck, most of its head, save that pitch black dead eye. Morbid curiosity urged me onward, and the path never deviated from the straight upward road I'd traveled with the entire time. Along the way, every now and then, another party Pokemon would die. An examination of its sprite would show it was in the same condition as the others, until all that was left was Typhlosion. One more staircase was up ahead. I climbed it, braced for whatever horror awaited me. I hit the summit. It was deserted. Red was nowhere to be found. The snow had stopped falling. In the very center of the map was something sticking out of the snow. It looked like a Pokeball. Okay, maybe all this creepy shit led up to some climactic final battle using whatever was in there. If I picked it up, maybe Red would come out of hiding. I walked over and examined it, and there was a burst of static noise from my game that made me jump. What appeared on the screen was a battle animation, my trainer sprite appearing, his skin tinged blue, against another mangled Pokemon sprite. It was Celebi. Celebi again! This was in the last one. Celebi's here again. In the center of that black hole, that was its eye. A single red dot burned out like an ember. The thing looked rotted. I didn't even throw out my mostly dead Typhlosion before it had moved. Celebi used Perish Song. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. A screech came out of my GBA, and I almost dropped it as the screen turned white. A part of me was relieved, thinking that my final Pokemon had been KO'd, and I would be transported to a Pokemon Center. But I was wrong. My sprite reappeared in what looked like a cave. Was I now inside the mountain? I checked my trainer card and felt sick. The sprite was just as mauled as the Pokemon had been. A leg gone. Hold on, I need to read this. A screech came out of my GBA, and I almost dropped it as the screen went white. Part of me was relieved, thinking that my final Pokemon had been KO'd, and I would be transported to a Pokemon Center. But I was wrong. My sprite reappeared in what looked like a cave. Was I now inside a mountain? I checked my trainer card and felt sick. The sprite was just as mauled as the Pokemon had been. A leg gone, a single eye remaining. Pitch black and so sad looking. Tears welled up at the corner, and every color on him was replaced by those sick shades of frosty blue and gray. Every stat on the card was reduced to 0, except the time, which still read 99999. So he's reappeared in what looked like a cave. Okay, so he's inside the mountain. Lavender Leon, what's your wisdom? My wisdom is nothing, because no brain head empty. No knowledge up here. My wisdom may come later, if I can think of it. My wisdom may come later. But not now, it seems. My wisdom does not want to appear in my head. I quickly moved back to the map. His sprite there mimicked the horror it had become on the trainer card. Pieces were missing. Everything was discolored. I started trying to walk, and at first I received a message. It's so cold. There was only one direction to go, upward. I moved on, and every now and then would be stopped by a message that made my heart sink lower and lower. Mother, it feels so cold. I can't go on. The walls, as I walked, became darker, until they were pitch black at the end. There was an exit there, marked only by a white outline. I had no other choice but to go through it. It opened to a chamber that was also solid white. The only way to distinguish the walls was a thin, gray line that marked them as separate from the floor. Against the far wall, there was another sprite, red sprite, intact. I had come this far. I had to finish this. I walked right up to him and hit A. ... A battle started. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, they have a visual. So he has frostbitten Pokemon as well. Or his Pokemon are frostbitten. Oh my god, they have... Okay, so it's labeled the normal and frostbitten sprites of Red Blastoise, Venusaur, and Espeon. That's so cool! That they have like a little visual for it. That's so cool. Oh my god. Red Sprite had none of the deformities that marred my own. The colors were the same blues and grays, but he was intact. He just looked extremely sad. His first Pokemon came out, Venusaur. It was just like my own had been, but level 0, with a speck of health. I sent out my Typhlosion, who had just 6 hit points HP left. No Pokemon made a sound when they were brought into battle. Venusaur used to struggle. Holy sheep, they are creepy. Yeah. Oh, you clipped it. There was no animation, just a single point of damage done to Typhlosion, and the opposing sprite dropped off the screen. Venusaur has died. There was no text asking me to switch out. Instead, there was just what I took to be dialogue from Red. ... His next Pokemon was Blastoise, even more mangled than Venusaur had been. Oh, you can't see it because I'm blocking it, but there's more visuals here. His next Pokemon was Blastoise, even more mangled than Venusaur had been. It too struggled and died. After each round, there was an ominous ... from their trainer. Every sprite was more damaged than the last. His Espeon was barely distinguishable as a Pokemon. I realized somewhere he was sending them all out in order, which saved one Pokemon for last. Okay, so you can see this is what his Blastoise looks like. This is the Espeon, which they said was barely recognizable. Which, yeah, you can. It does not look like Espeon. It's gotten like chunks taken out of it. The sprite, that is. Which saved one Pokemon for last. And you can see what Pikachu looks like over here. Ooh. Ooh, scary, scary. Pikachu came out, and it was grotesque. It, too, was discolored, like it was frostbitten. It was missing an ear, half its body and tail. Its head was mostly intact, but its eyes were much larger than they should have been, and glared out at me like pitch-black windows into hell. But the thing that got me the most was a giant smile that extended almost all the way to the edges of its head. Its health was somehow at 0, or at least it looked that way. My hands were shaking. I didn't get a chance to attack. Pikachu used Ping Split. Pikachu has died. Typhlosion has died. It cut back to the image of Red Sprite, and now it looked like mine. With his body so butchered, it looked like a carcass stripped of most of its meat. Except it had those same soulless, deranged eyes as Pikachu. I finally understood what happened. They were dead. They were dead, and this was the sub-level of the mountain. Was the hell that they now existed in. Red finally spoke. It's over. The screen flashed black and white for a moment. Use Destiny Bond. A horrible, hideous screeching started to issue from my GBA. The screen went white, and it shrieked at me, and I threw it to the floor and pressed my back against the bed. The horrible noise continued for several long moments while the screen stayed white, and it went black. Then there was silence. It took me a few moments, but I eventually stood up. I took the Game Shark. I took the notebook. I took that fucking possessed game. I picked them all up and carried them to the garbage where we the garbage can where oh my god, I cannot read. I carried them to the garbage can where we had already set out for our morning pickup at the end of our long, winding driveway, and I threw them in. When I got back to the house, I don't know what made me do it, but I picked up the yellow version and inserted it into my Game Boy. I think it was part of me determined to make sure I hadn't somehow been tainted as well. The music started up, the game played. I turned to my Pikachu and hit A. Its smiling face greeted me with an ear twitched. Its smiling face greeted me with an ear twitch and a big, pixelated smile. A pleasant, normal smile. I turned my game off and spent the next hour crying on the floor. My brother and I never did play Pokemon together again. He gave it up for good. I stuck to replaying my comforting, unhacked games. That winter, the snow fell thick. That one was actually good. I actually really liked that one. That was really nice. Like, obviously not the best horror story I've ever experienced, but it was like decently written. I really liked the prose. I liked the characterization. I liked how much it established about the characters and the setting, and like how these characters interacted with each other, their relationship, as well as like where they lived, how they lived, like everything like that. And the way that it described everything was just very nice. It encourages to stop pirating games. You're right. Someone from Nintendo was employed specifically to write a creepypasta about Pokemon Silver, so that people would stop hacking their games and pirating their games. True. Yeah. I guess it didn't work though, because people still do that. And their new strategy is to fucking, I don't know, fine people a ton. But anyways, I wanted to like show like that I really did appreciate this. I really like the ending too. I like how it took its time like this. It went black, there was silence, and then it like took me a few long moments. And then it like takes its time to really be like, yeah, I went and threw them out. But it really established like long and winding driveway, trash out for morning pickup, threw them in. I go back to, and then the narrator, goes back to their room and like puts in their yellow, and they're like, I still want to like make sure that I can enjoy this, and they like put on their yellow version and like go to their Pikachu, so that I can like see normal Pikachu and be like, this is this one, it like went back to this, just to like see normal Pikachu and be like, this is still like my friend, my nice like normal Pikachu, like it's still there for me. Its smiling face greeted me with an ear twitch and a big pixelated smile, a pleasant normal smile. I turned my game off and spent the next hour crying on the floor. Like, I really like these last two paragraphs here. My brother and I never did play Pokemon again, together again. He gave it up for good. I stuck to replaying my comforting unhacked games. And the last line, that's winter the snow fell thick, I really appreciate that. I think that's really good. That little like closing line is really nice. This is definitely someone who like writes, and you know, it's not like the best story ever, but they definitely write. Like, they have good prose, they have good like setup, and characters and everything like that. Sometimes I struggle with small sentences, like it went black. Kind of feels like I'm overusing them. Yeah, same. I mean, I'm not like, I write sometimes for fun, but like I'm not like a huge writer or anything. So I tend to like struggle with that, but I agree, like I tend to like struggle with that thing, but I definitely did want to like every once in a while when I was reading this, I wanted to like stop and like be like, oh, I appreciate this and this and this, and I did that with the last creepypasta that we read. But I still did like poke fun at them a little bit, especially the last one. But like I didn't poke as much fun with this one, because this one is just like genuinely like very well written. Like the last one had some interesting concepts and ideas, and it the way that it told the story through like Pikachu's frustration, like it gives you extra context through the Pokemon moves, is really nice. But this one is just good for the fact that it like um, I don't know what that image was, and I don't want to scroll back up to see that. Sorry about that. I was just scrolling. Okay. Anyways. Anyways. I really appreciate that this is like this is just like a cool story. It's not like the most original. It has the same like beats as like a lot of other creepypasta surrounding Pokemon. Like it's very similar. Um, but the difference here is that this person like has very I really like the characters and I really like the setup and everything. So anyways, um, that's gonna be I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna transition here. Okay, I transitioned to my just chatting screen because I was like, nar. I was like, what the fuck was that image from earlier? So I like transitioned to my just chatting screen so that I could like scroll and and like see what had like come up on my screen. Okay, I'm gonna transition back to it. It was literally just eat the brown part of this banana, like the bruised part of the banana. So I was like I was like wondering like, oh, I probably shouldn't like scroll down if they're gonna like show images because I don't know what they're gonna put there. But it's literally just fine. It's just a meme. It's like eat the bruised part of the banana. Okay, we're good. Anyways, oh, hold on. Let me read the comments. Honestly, not honestly too bad. Exactly what I thought. This creepypasta honestly feels way too real. I can imagine everything playing in my head. The distorted versions of the sprites and dialogue, this was planned out perfectly. To whoever made this, keep it up, you've earned my praise. Yeah, I wouldn't say it feels like sorry, I wouldn't say it feels like real, but I do think that the characters seem real. At least the main character. I don't know about the younger brother, but the main character seems like a real person to me. Um, he spoke truth, yeah. And then this person that's crazy. Now, eat the brown part of this banana. Okay, anyways. Back to the just chatting screen. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. I gotta go to work, gotta get ready for work. But anyways, they did a great job of describing the feeling of the characters. Yeah, I think so too. Exactly, yeah. But anyways, I gotta go to work, so we're gonna see who we can raid. Let's see. Let's raid. I'm indecisive here. Let's raid Super Eye Patch Wolf. Anyways, we're gonna start raid. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had a ton of fun. I want to do more stuff like this with like just reading stuff. I think this is fun. It's fun to like experience a little story with everyone, and it's similar to what I normally do because I do play like a lot of visual novel type stuff. So it is definitely similar to what I normally do. So I want to do this kind of thing again. It would be fun. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for chatting with me. As always, it is very appreciated. And have fun with Super Eye Patch Wolf. Good nocturne night. Goodbye!